Welcome to Yin Yoga Lifestyle. I am your host, Colette Darville, cultivating our body's resilience and inner silence and its application to all aspects of your life. Let's become enlightened and enjoy the power of intuitiveness and creativity. You are listening to Society Bites Radio, social interaction for the mind and soul. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. I am your host, Colette Darville, and this is Yin Yoga Lifestyle. So now let us take a deep meditative breath. Inhale, so. Exhale, hum. Michelle Rosetta is the founder of BEE23 Natural Beauty, an all-natural, non-toxic, clean skincare line focused on sensitive and maturing skin. She is the mother of 4 living in Toronto, Canada, where she produces her product line in small batches for high-quality beauty care. She has used her own sensitive skin issues, global travels, and life experiences living off the grid and in harsh environments to create formulas that are safe for sensitive skin, but also highly potent in protection and results. Welcome to Yin Yoga Lifestyle, Michelle.
Yay! That was such an incredible intro. And your voice is so good. It's got to be the yoga breathing.
Thank you, Michelle. It's all that pranayama. Thank you so much.
So good.
I've never had a guest say that. It was a fantastic and with such exuberance. Thank you so much, Michelle. It's going to be a great interview.
I hope so. I hope I can rise to the challenge. I truly do.
Well, you just think of it as a conversation between you and me, and we just have we have a million listeners, and that's all that is. So.
No pressure. No pressure at all.
No pressure at all. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how and why you created your natural skincare line, BEE23? Were you having issues with your own skin? Is that what prompted it?
Well, it is a bit multi-layered. So initially, yes, there was the pragmatic aspect of not being able to find a brand in the general market that I wanted to use, because I started to understand about the different synthetic chemicals and what they did to your body, because I was having reactions. So I would get tighter, itchy skin, I get rashy, I get really bad migraines. So then I started to think about, when is it triggered? And I had this it was very soft and gorgeous perfume that prior to having kids, I literally would go airport hopping for because I loved it. But every time I put it on, I would get these migraines starting in the back of my head. And so I started to think about, what is in this perfume? And then I started to study it and realized, it's only like over 3,000 synthetic chemicals, which have not been tested on humans. So then I started to really realize, what's in my other products? And I even though I consider myself like this travel-worthy, tree-hugging, tree planter, I had never thought what was in our products. I was so conditioned and groomed to not ask. I just wasn't. So that's what opened that part up. And then when we were talking about the Valkyrie warrior aspect,
right, which we were previous to this. Yes.
I got angry. I got really angry, because then I realized all of these different aspects of hormonal disruption. And the fact is, women, this is a human problem, and this is a human concern, regardless of how you identify gender-wise. But as women, biologically, we have more fat cells. So this is why women who have been the gatekeepers of caring for our humanity and our environment and making sure we keep our house clean, we are more adversely affected, because we are storing more of these synthetics in our fat cells, and it's accumulative. So I really thought this was a maternal angry issue, and then I got angry, and then I went through my ranting, and then I realized nobody wants to listen to me because we're busy and we're tired. Nobody wants to listen to my like angry Minnie Mouse voice preaching about what's in their products because the packaging's pretty and they don't have time. So I was really trying to think about, how do I do this? How do I reach people, create a rapport that's tactile and non-threatening and yet educational? And so I went back to the fact that I needed product, and I realized if I package this in a way that is more of a soft sell and people are interested, then they're going to ask questions. And that's how my platform for BEE23 Natural Beauty started. I needed a platform that gave me access to dealing with the maternal, I called them maternal environmental rage issues.
Yes.
So that I wasn't angry, because I was noticing, and this is already, oh my God, like, 2008, I got really angry, and I was like, I can't believe this is happening. And meanwhile, in the 70s, they've got so many articles. Like, I went in one of my university classes. I was in an environmental one, and I was doing this one essay project thesis thing, and I went to the back of I remember the back of the library. There's all these articles about, if you keep doing this is your planet in 2022. And I thought, how could they say that? How could nobody know this? And so I already had that going on. But I realized I was angry, and it wasn't healthy for me, and it wouldn't be healthy for my kids, and people weren't interested. So when I thought, I'm going to take all of this angry energy and try to flip it so that I can focus it into something that is a positive message and something that people might be interested in. And the interesting thing is, however it's been branded, I can be at the National Women's Show anywhere, and women will walk across, and men too, actually. It's been a very, they will walk across the trade show floor and be like, I don't know what's going on here, but you just need to tell me everything. So then I was like, that's my in. But I don't, and in the beginning, for the first 5 years, probably everyone heard everything from the Fukushima nuclear meltdowns to the fact that, certain chemicals destroy our skin cells, creating lines and blah, blah, blah. So they probably heard the whole gamut. I am a little bit more business oriented now in terms of, this is my sales. But that passion for helping people understand that they need to really embrace and honor the inalienable rights to bodily autonomy and what we put in it and what we put on it. And that was, in the end, my message.
And you are really, this is great because you're really adamant about the natural ingredients you base your formulas on, aren't you? And what are they?
Well, they work better. Like, this is vanity too. Like, I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to get wrinkles.
Yeah, who does?
Yeah, but then I started to look at the ingredients in the synthetic formulas, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to create skin breakdown. Why the hell am I going to put that on my face?
Right.
Like, silicone, literally, it gives you a nice, like, it makes it look smooth because it's like putting primer on a wall. Right. But it's very difficult to wash off, and then it ends up suffocating your skin from the very things we need, like, I don't know, oxygen.
Right.
Oxygen, maybe, to keep your skin healthy. So this was a little bit out of vanity, and I'm not going to lie. I was like, what am I going to put on my face to maintain my health of my, and that kind of, youthful, dewy glow for as long as I possibly can. So that's how I chose all the ingredients. So there was a few aspects. One, I didn't want to have synthetic preserving agents, and I wanted the product to last. So I'm branching out now into different formulas, but originally I was trying to figure out how do I make something that has a long-term shelf life, the 2-year consumer shelf life, but doesn't go bad? And I
Mm.
was really going through all kinds of different ideals. And then, okay, this is going to sound awful. My product isn't like this anymore, but I walked into the barn.
In the barn.
We're an old horse family. my papa was a sulky racer, so my grandmother's old Finnish too. She's passed on now, but anyways, she used, even on, she would use what she put on the horses on herself.
Right.
And I mean, there was so much old kind of like formulas that, ointments that they put on the racehorses, or they put on, in general, the livestock to create healing and create a barrier. And I walked in, and honestly, this sounds horrible, and it wasn't one of her concoctions. It was like an old bag bomb or something. Like, this stuff is 15 years old. It's never gone bad. I mean, it's petroleum based, don't get me wrong. But the point was, I realized if I don't put water in and I create like more of a solve, I'm not going to get the bacterial growth that is due to water. So I won't have to use the preserving agents. The other thing I realized was, if I choose ingredients that have on their own generally a 2-year consumer shelf life, then I'm already putting everything into it that should theoretically at that time last. And then I looked at beeswax, because literally I love bees. I grew up, so there's city, well, where I grew up. So there was city, and then there was city country, and then there was country, and then there was the boondocks.
Right.
I grew up there.
So in Canada,
So
we have the boondocks, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what, everyone will be upset with me that I call it. But no, I have a lot of friends that will honor that and be like, yeah, it's where we grew up. But I grew up just hanging out in the field, right? And I would just sit with the bees. I was very infatuated with bees since I've been a little girl. So when I was studying all this stuff, I started to realize how incredible the science of bees is, and that we don't understand it. And then I started to question how they found honey in tombs 3,000 years old, and it's still good.
Amazing.
So I realized, beeswax is an excellent agent and preserving agent to hold this formula, give it texture, act as an emollient, act as a homunctant, and to be able to create that breathable barrier that we need often to protect from environmental stressors. So that's how the beeswax came in. And then the last part would have been like some of the preserving agents as well. I threw more in there. So I threw in some vitamin E, and I threw in, and the essential oils were actually, so it's a conflictual conversation with people with essential oils, but
right.
I put in just enough that it does give just a delicate scent, but I really do believe in the frankincense and rose essential oils I put in there, and I do believe they have had an incredible impact on my formula. And you can't put a lot because they're potent, right? People put way too much scent in their products, but it's just enough that I do believe it adds to it. And there is a hint of chamomile and just a tiny bit of ylang ylang, and all those are really good. So that was my original formula. I have other ones now, but this was for maturing skin.
Yeah.
So I put in all of the I don't want my skin to age oils. So that's how the ingredients came to be.
So you.
And the other aspect with bees, sorry, people don't realize how important they are to our planet. So I wanted the beeswax in there because it gave me a speaking point again.
Yes, absolutely. So you're environmentalist and a beauty expert, which is a fantastic combination. We love that. Can you sort of introduce us to some of the products you've created? Because I'd like our listeners to be aware. This has been a lot of hard work for you, and do your formulas work for all skin types and ages?
So, first, what is really important to remember is our skin is really